Hey everybody, this has been a long time coming, but I really wanted to jump on and do a video. I told you guys I was gonna. One of the big things, Wisconsin deer season wrapped up, at least the gun deer season wrapped up last Sunday. I hunted both weekends and a couple other days in between, but one of the big things that I used this year, and I actually used it during bow hunting, and I talked to you guys about it a little bit before, was the Tactacam. I know you guys have seen this. I've shown you pictures. I've shared a couple of videos. So if you aren't familiar with Tactacam, they're a Minnesota-based company. This is the Tactacam 5 that I got here. We actually have two of them, but today I'm only going to be talking about the one use, and that's going to be with what's called their FTS, their film through scope. Just a little bit about this Tactacam. I was able to hunt this year, probably more than I have in a very long time. I hunted in some pretty bad rain. I hunted in snow. I hunted in some sleet and some ice conditions, and this thing held up completely. They do tout it as being waterproof and essentially weatherproof, and it did hold up. We hunted in temps down to right around 20 degrees. Didn't have any issues with it. Camera worked every single time that we pressed the button and we started. But like I said, the big thing today that I want to talk about was the film through scope. If you guys aren't familiar with that, what that is, essentially, Tactacam came out with this. So this is just, it's like a double barrel chamber type thing. So one has 7 different size couplers that go on there. So this will mount on to almost every single scope out there. The one thing that I did find out that it won't mount to my Vortex Viper PST, because that does have an extra, that has a battery compartment very near the eyepiece, so that one didn't work out. But with this, I hunt with a Weatherby Mark V 30-06 with a Vortex Diamondback HP 3 to 12 by 42. So for this particular one, this took the essentially neck number 5. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, if it's going to focus. Different ones, different things. We did use it on a couple other rifles during the gun deer season. A couple days that I wasn't hunting there, I allowed a friend of mine to use it. His was a Nikon Bushmaster scope, and he used 4, and we had another one that ended up using only a 2. So that just, it's the thickness on here, and that's going to make sure that this universally fits on. So once you have that in there and you figure out what scope you need, the big thing is just sliding it over the scope, over the eyepiece, getting it as snug as you can. There are 2 set screws here to tighten it down to make sure that it doesn't come loose and it doesn't rotate. And the big reason you're going to want to know that, like I said, if you guys can see it here, I'm trying to show this off as best as I can. So the camera goes in one, and obviously the other one goes to the eyepiece of your scope. So when this is done, you want to make sure that you have it set exactly how you want it, so it doesn't interfere with the bolt being operated if you're using a bolt action. Obviously, if you're using a semi-auto, if you're using a lever action, it's not as pertinent, but you want to make sure that you know where it is and that it's not going to interfere with any shooting operations. Once you have that done, it's as simple as sliding in the Tactacam. So with that, the big thing is you want to make sure that you know the orientation of your camera, because the FTS uses obviously a set of mirrors in order to be able to record what you're seeing through your scope. Like I said, one of the other individuals, when he used it, it was more upright, and we also had to invert the camera so it was almost upside down. That's where the beauty of, they do have a remote that you can get from them. If you have the remote and you can't access it, because like I said, his was almost like this, and once you have that setting there, then you can't reach the button right here. That's where the remote comes in. But that's what worked out for him. And like I said, everyone's a little bit different. The scopes, the guns, different things like that. There's a wide variety. Once you have that on there, set screws, 2 set screws for the eyepiece, one set screw for the actual camera itself. As soon as you do it, when you have this going, it's as simple as pressing the button. So mine was orientated, this is how I needed it to be in order to get an upright view of through my scope. Press the button one time. When it's flashing green, that means it's recording. You press the button another time, it's gonna be a solid green, you're now paused. Super simple and easy to use. This thing does hold up. You can do the same stuff with the remote. It's just a press of a button, and it'll actually either pause it, start it, or shut it off from that as well. You can also use, they have a app that you can download right on your smartphone. With that, you can actually start and stop a recording as well. You can change the features. There is a regular mode, which is the primary mode. There's a zoom, and there's also a slow motion mode. So with this, obviously I used it primarily for gun deer season and viewing through the scope. I used it on a regular. I didn't get anything, unfortunately, this year. I did have a couple of doe that were in the scope. I am going to download that video and trim it up a little bit. One of the big things is this is an HD camera, so this does take very high resolution video, and with that, it can eat up a lot of space. That's why I want to get it kind of cut down for you guys, just so I can post that on the socials, both Instagram and Facebook, but I will obviously show it to you. It's super simple to install, super quick to use. Between either the remote or just the press of a button, it works great, and it turns on every single time. It's held up to all the weather that we have in Wisconsin, and if you're from Wisconsin and you know anything about Wisconsin, there's plenty of different kinds of weather. We have four different seasons in a day. I'm really excited because there's a lot of different things that we can use this on. I do have the Palmetto State 6-24 scope that's mounted on the 308, so I'm getting really excited about using this on some steel targets, maybe some other targets out to 300, 400, 500 yards. There's also going to be a variety. Just to give you a heads up, I'm not going to touch base on them too much today, but there are different mounts that we use. I have a mount for just about everything because I do have a use for it. There's a under the barrel scope mount that actually mounts on your Picatinny rail. That's actually what I'll probably end up using on one of my other ARs, the one that has the Viper PST on it. There is a barrel and scope mount as well that just kind of clamps down either onto the barrel or onto scope itself. I do have a scope that this will work on for turkey hunting, and I plan on running a dual system with that. So it's going to be the barrel mounted camera on the barrel itself and what you see through the scope. Hopefully we have a successful year next year with turkey hunting, because I think that'll be very interesting to get on a recording. The last one is just an offset Picatinny mount as well. They do have another mount that'll work with essentially any aftermarket mounts, like a GoPro mount or something like that. That's what that'll work with. So there's a variety of different options if you want to use Tactacam. Like I said, there is different things. Both the ones that I have are Tactacam 5. The other models, obviously, they are a little bit cheaper, but you're not getting as much quality with them. These are the new ones. The Tactacam 5 comes in both a regular and a wide angle lens, so there's tons of different uses for it. I was super excited about this. Probably one of the most exciting things that I got this year that was predominantly designed for hunting, that I got to actually use. The possibilities are endless, and I can't wait to show off for you guys a little bit more about what this does and show it to you in action. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. If you want to, I do have the links below. Make sure you check them out. And if you guys get anything good, if you guys use Tactacam and you're using either the view through scope or the film through scope, or you're running one of their other mounts, send it into the pages and we'll definitely see what we can do. Make sure you're checking us out on both Instagram and Facebook, and you'll be seeing a lot more of this product, I guarantee it.